The park is a brief, atmospheric horror experience that provides a solid dose of scares without ever really bothering to attempt to reinvent the wheel. What starts with a simple, slightly cheesy premise of a mother trying to find her son in an abandoned amusement park quickly morphs into a chilling and personal horror story.
And led them deep into the forest once again.
Mechanically, the park is cut from the same cloth as first-person story-driven games like Gone Home and PT. You walk around and examine various knickknacks throughout the world meant to help flesh out the story. However, unlike Gone Home, the park's objects aren't particularly interesting and don't do a whole lot to add depth to the characters of the world. Thankfully, most of these aren't required in order to experience any of the park's many, many jump scares. Despite a lot of these being easy to spot from a mile away, I still found myself yelping out loud numerous times throughout the 90-minute adventure, thanks in part to the excellent sound design. Ambient noises, audio distortions, and generally creepy carnival music all work together to create a really evocative atmosphere. Also scattered across the park are attractions that take control away from you and deliver a scripted, spooky vignette.
Abandoned by their parents and unable to find the trail home, the children wandered in the forest for 3 days.
While there's generally a solid payoff at the end of each one, I found that most of them went on far too long without the ability to hop off. While the first half of the park tends to lean a bit too hard into the horror tropes of a spooky carnival, the final act does a really great job of developing a character with the pathos that comes from being a mother who's having a tough time dealing with the impossible stress that comes from being a parent. Sure, it's some of the same ground that Silent Hill games have covered in the past, but that doesn't diminish its effectiveness. I didn't expect such real and personal themes when I first entered the park, but I was definitely happy with the narrative depth I eventually found. The park doesn't really bring anything new to the horror table, but honestly, that's okay. Its 90 minutes are filled with impressive atmosphere, interesting themes, and spooky places to poke around. While some of the attractions are a bit long in the tooth, the park provides enough tension and scares to warrant a playthrough from any horror fan. For more on the park, stay right here on IGN.